You've all heard of the War on Terror. Well, basically, the English, or let's call them the Europeans, to be less racist about it, they've been waging a war on other species in Australia for over 200 years. And one of the wars they wage is against the dingo, which is the equivalent of the wild dog of Australia, the coyote, if you like, the wolf. And this dog is an important part of Aboriginal culture, in the sense that all Aborigines have extended families, not just including people, but they have a kinship system which goes through all kinds of animals, birds, rocks, water, the entire continent, if you like, of living things. In fact, they don't recognize any unliving things, so there's no sense that there's an inanimate rock or an animate being. It's all animated. And this is a very hard concept to get your head around. For example, in Aboriginal culture, if you don't know the song for a glass, I'm talking about Aboriginal traditional culture because most of it's been destroyed now. If you don't know the song for this glass, the glass doesn't exist. So it's that level of connection, and it stands at one polar end of what I'm talking about. At the other end is the fence, which is this sort of ultimate metaphor for, if you like, the Western view of the world, which is a view of duality. I mean, to put it in very kind of, it's a bit awe-inspiring doing this in a major university, but a brief history of humanity. Hunter-gatherers, where we had, what I'm talking about, a sense of connectivity to everything you had to in order to survive. And then with the invention of agriculture, you start to build fences because you start to own things. And with agriculture, of course, you get religion, the three major ones, where there's not only this duality, but also a sense of hierarchy. And then you end up somewhere, last century, and there's the age, or 2 centuries ago, the Age of Enlightenment, and you end up with this whole sort of mind-body split idea, the Cartesian sort of view of the world, which becomes the way in which we carry on, and certainly the way in which the colonialists in Australia carried on. I mean, it's a paradigm of, it's, of course, it happened everywhere. It happens everywhere still. But this is somehow such a clear a view of how we have, I think Australia's record in terms of extinguishing other species is more than any other continent anywhere in the world. So it's kind of, it's a terrible legacy. So we have Dinky on this one side, and we have fences which represent all this kind of schizophrenic way in which we handle stuff. We could could stand here and make a list all night of knowledge, lack of knowledge, civilization, uncivilization, foreigners, citizens, the known, the unknown. I mean, it's our whole way of thinking is based on this sort of metaphorical fence,